All right, we should be live. Good evening, everyone. I see Sheena in the house and Gertej. It is Thursday, January 5th, 7:59 p.m. and about 2 degrees Celsius here in Midtown Toronto. It was going to be a bit more adventurous, but I thought let's hold off and we'll save that one for tomorrow or the weekend. I see Vivian, Fernando, Leslie Harjot, Michael Nguyen, and I've got my wireless audio set up. If you could confirm that you can hear me okay. Because once again, I can wander away from the camera. And strike it if need be. So hopefully the audio is working. It says it is. I see Marcus here, Brad Palmer, and everyone else. Sorry if I missed some of you while I was wandering away. And there I am as well. Thanks for confirming, guys. So this is Yonge Street. Walking south, maybe we'll head over to Mount Pleasant and we'll go for a nighttime stroll down that street. And this used to be a bedding store called Beddington's. Now there's nothing in there. Thanks for confirming and for conforming, Gordon. And this is here. Marge is here, Marie Palmer, and everyone else. It was supposed to kind of rain lately tonight. Oh, and this was one of those like everything must go stores. And it looks like they're done and they've folded up. Probably preying on a lot of last minute Christmas gifts and that sort of thing. Visit fairgrounds.com. It's the Public Racket Club. Oh, great. Just as I start streaming, it starts raining. Oh, well. As the Brits would say, I'll leave the brawly in the backpack, at least for now. And I hope you're all having a great Thursday evening. Michael asks if this is where I live. Well, this is my neighborhood. I'm not going to give out my street address or anything, but you could say I'm very close to here. Patrick in the house. Hopefully the rain is just really light like this. I've been kind of waiting for this gimbal to die from exposing it to the elements. It just refuses to. Hey, here's a couple of Movin' Pulse e-bikes. And these ones have their second batteries installed. That's the same one I recently acquired from that company. There's Stock Bar across the street. Fernando hopes I don't get drenched out here. Well, it's all good. I have an umbrella. And I think I'll just be walking in a big loop. So either way, I'll end up back in this area. Like I said, I just wanted to get out and do a stream. I was thinking about doing one late this afternoon, but someone beat me to it. That kind of triggered the laziness in me to hold off. Vivian says so much rain this time of year. Yeah, definitely a lot more rain than snow. And this is my local Shoppers. And it is huge, and apparently this building is up for redevelopment. Although if you've been following the news, the less money we give to the Westons, the better, I guess. I'll try not to miss it. And I think I saw that Dollarama is moving in over there into one of those spaces. That'll be interesting. There's the Rosencrown, absolute comedy. And I tried to go there the other night, and there was a massive lineup to get into pie. You pop in a Chipotle? Maybe later. There's the Dollarama. That used to be a solution store. There's the Young Eglinton Center. Hello, Chatty Cathy in the house. So the videos for tomorrow and Thursday, or sorry, Saturday, are currently rendering. So I do have content up and ready, or will soon. And Saturday, I might be making my way down to Niagara Falls. I don't know if I'll be streaming any of that.
Yeah.
I preemptively booked a car.
But I get what, like...
So I'm going to try to have videos to cover the weekend, just in case I don't do anything this weekend. "21st Century, £5. Hi, Johnny. Could you live stream from Toronto, Chinatown this Lunar New Year? Thank you, 21st Century. I can't promise, but I will definitely look into that. I think that's a good idea. I just need to know when the heck Lunar New Year actually is. Hopefully it's not this weekend. And there's the Duke of Kent. I ate there Monday night. I had a fish and chips, that was quite good.
At least he's going at his own pace, but for his age, like...
There's an interesting mannequin in the shop. I don't think the camera's quite picking it up. Moyo says, glad to be here finally. Well, glad you're here. Marie Palmer, thank you for filling me in. I'll try to do something for Lunar New Year. Still light traffic. I was just reading that the TTC might be cutting service. The subway might be going as infrequent as every 10 minutes due to reduced ridership. Aren't you glad we've dealt with shuttle buses every other weekend for the last billion years so they could install an automatic train controlling system that would allow more trains to run just so they can go ahead and cut service? That better not come true. Lisa Gibson, 279. Thank you, Lisa Gibson. And thank you to 21st Century as well. Thank you, Lisa. I don't feel like going through this rat's maze here on the left with this gimbal. Let's follow the pedestrian walkway. That, and I just did a video not too long ago where I went along this side of Eglinton, so let's head along the other side. 200 Japanese yen super chat. Thank you for the 200 Japanese yen. Arigato. Yeah, let's increase the the fares and cut service. And what's funny is this intersection is always under construction. And I think once it finally clears up, this building in front of me might be coming down. There are plans to, or at least there were plans to redevelop that lot. So we'll be contending with never-ending construction. I did not Kartik. So we look up at Canada Life building. Christopher Haydock in the house. Hello, Christopher. As we head east along the south side of Eglinton. This was a Salvation Army location that's being rebuilt. I have not been to this A&W in ages. Snakes and lattes. Used to be an Asian fusion restaurant called Spring Rolls. And that used to be a Starbucks, and it looks like there's a new cafe moving in. That's good. Which road is this? It is Eglinton Avenue East. Walking east on the south side. I'm gonna make a right when I get to Mount Pleasant, I think, and we'll walk through Mount Pleasant Village. Everett C, 20 bucks. Good evening, everyone. Friday is almost here. Indeed, it is. Thank you, Everett C. Thank you very much for your support as we look south down Dunfield Avenue. Hunter Stewart, yes, Turning Red is. I couldn't make it through that movie though. I started watching it. I don't know, I just couldn't make it through it, even though it was set in Toronto. P says he'll see me soon. He's around the corner. As the R says, the weather in Toronto seems to be the same as Southeast Michigan. I would assume those two regions would be similar. Why did I move from Korea back to here? I was only supposed to leave or live in Korea for 1 year. And I loved it so much, I came back after the first year. And I actually found a new job here. I had an offer letter in front of me. And then a friend who was in Korea reached out and said a school in Gangnam was interested in my services, and ended up going back, thinking I was only going to go back for another year, and ended up staying for 4 more. So it was not my intention to be in Korea as long as I was. But eventually I had to move back. Dave W says, love this channel. Always so much joy for many. Thanks, I hope so. It's cool to see there's a few big walking channels based in Seoul. Patricia says, happy birthday to Kaus, C-A-I-U-S. Happy birthday. Did I teach in Canada? Nope. I absolutely hate this building on the right. What a stupid way to front Eglinton Avenue. It just creates this black hole of life along an otherwise busy and vibrant street.
Hey, Johnny Shreds.
I am. Hello.
Nice to meet you. Can I shout out my friend who's in the chat?
Sure.
What's up, Scotter Mac? He's a huge fan. He
Awesome.
watches you all the time.
Cool.
Have a good night.
Well, nice to meet you. Cheers. There's someone just got shouted out. Friendly guy. Scotter Mac. And I noticed this in the video I just recorded around here, but this is really cool. That used to be a Golden Griddle. And then there was a pub that relocated into that spot, and it didn't last there very long. But now it is reopened as the Harp Tavern. Hello, Jennifer Gala. And one of the oldest pubs in the city, the Unicorn, used to be right here in what is now Tooth Fairy Dental on Eglinton. SR Gotts in the house. William asking, how's my Christmas? I'm going to say Christmas won't be over till Saturday. That's if I end up heading down to Niagara Falls. I'm planning on doing a Sunday night stumble stream, the first one in a while. But if the weekend gets a little crazy, I might push that back to Monday or Tuesday. What toppings do I like on my pizza? Brooklyn pepperoni, banana peppers, onions, mushrooms. Occasionally I'll do the pineapple and ham thing. Why do Canadians say cheers? I don't know. It's just something we do. And look at this. The early stages of what will be a bike lane. Actual bicycle infrastructure on Eglinton Avenue. Unfortunately, it's not going to be very consistent, and it's not always going to be curb separated. In fact, there'll be stretches where it's just a painted line. That's definitely good to see. Yeah, and a few weeks ago, Mount Pleasant Road and Eglinton here was reopened. Cars were unable to turn left or right from any direction. And that poor subway there has been covered in hoarding for as long as I can remember. Hopefully they've got some business back. All right, so we're going to go south here on Mount Pleasant. I still haven't finished painting all the markings at the intersection here. Touch says can't send a super chat. Don't worry about it. Fakey Fake says a cooking with Johnny stream. I don't know. Oh, congrats to NYC Walking Show. He just hit 100K. There was a point in time where I think his channel was a lot smaller than mine, and he has leapfrogged me. Awesome news. Vivian says thumbs up. Thank you. So it is south on Mount Pleasant. Can you do Kensington at night? I'm sure I will next time I'm downtown. Maybe if we do that Lunar New Year stream, Kensington would make sense since it's right there. Dave W., I believe Lush is still there. There's the Granite Brewery. Once upon a time I went here with 3 other people. We were seated outside and they proceeded to completely ignore us. It was one of the worst services I've ever had. I'm shocked we even left a tip, and I have not been back there since. I think we sat down and it was like 25 minutes before someone even acknowledged us, despite seeing other tables be seated and served and have drinks on their table before anyone even talked to us. So screw you, Granite Brewery. Our cooking channel, Johnny Simmers. I can barely keep Stumbles alive, Mark. And there is where I started, over in Young Eglinton. You'll notice things are a lot sleepier here on Mount Pleasant. All right, Mr. Hippo, have a good night, sir.
I was like, I went to Lula. And I wasn't
So I've been meaning to try this place. Bolin Thai cuisine, I just haven't. Here's my cell phone provider. This will be the last ever stream I do on Rogers. I've got Bell as my backup provider, but I'll be switching to Bell as my primary and Freedom as my backup. And apparently I once walked by and said, made a comment that looked like a fancy restaurant up there. Apparently that's the dining hall for a seniors building. Someone in the comments got a kick out of me calling that a nice restaurant. Alba says go to Bayview. That's an idea. I just went to Bayview on a video I did within a week. Questions are fine, LAB. HG, do I smoke? Or just do edibles? Mostly just edibles. I did get a special gift given to me on a stream before Christmas, though, and I did consume that the old-fashioned smoking way. Why am I switching to Bell? Partly to spite Rogers. The other part is because I called Bell. Actually, I chatted with them to cancel. And they gave me a 100 gigabyte deal for a very low price. And then Freedom upped my service to 40 gigs. So between the two, I don't need to pay. I'm basically paying more for Rogers for less data than I am for Freedom and Bell combined. So I will finally have washed my hands and rid myself of the evil empire while I subscribe and support another one. Still some Christmas lights right on down there. Al says, so lonely and desolate, but in a city of millions of people. This neighborhood sort of loses out because it's so close to Yonge and Eglinton, which has superior transit connections and just way higher density in terms of the housing around it, so you end up with a sleepier retail stretch. It's still quite nice. Sorry, did I see that message? DW says, do I want you to come over? I'm close to you. People are free to catch up and say hi. That's entirely up to you. If you want to drop in the stream and say hi. I don't discourage that as long as you're friendly and it's brief. Neville, there's lots of independent pizza places. Classico near Yonge and Eglinton. Maybe we'll walk by one on this one. There's a coffee shop still open. When I first started this channel, I used to take my laptop to a cafe, grab a drink, and go through my comments, plan walks, and do that sort of thing. Then the pandemic hit. And I just got out of that habit. I should really start doing that again soon, just to get out. Yeah, north of Brooklyn is pretty good. Neat map shop on the right. I must have walked past it. Oh, there's a place that's open, Snacktown. Ralph says, is it freezing yet? It is 2 degrees, according to my phone. Not quite. Wild Chicory. I've never noticed that place. Sager lives 5 minutes away at Eglinton and Dunfield. Don't know why I pronounced it that way. I don't normally stream Saturday nights. So the person asking about a Cherry Street stream. Steven Seagal says, do apartments in Toronto need first and last rent? It's not really first and last, it's just 2 months up front. And usually the last is or the second one is just a deposit, which when you give your notice, landlords will often agree to accept it as the last. But most of these registered apartments will require 2 months up front. If you're dealing with a smaller landlord, you might negotiate something different. I know someone recently who found a condo and they thought the price was a little too good to be true. They suspected they were scammed or being scammed, and they met with the owner and they were shown the place and shown the paperwork, and there were so many people trying to get the spot that what he did was he offered 6 months rent up front instead of 2 months. Also, he was self-employed and didn't have the usual proof of income that you could get from an employer. And that was enough to satisfy the landlord, so that's how he got himself a condo. So if you want to outbid other people, that's one tactic. I'm not sure I recommend it, but that's just how crazy the real estate market is here. That's not the first time I've heard of someone doing that. And we've made it to Davisville Avenue. I always find Davisville a little bit quiet and not super interesting. Jennifer says in Seoul is expensive to rent. You need like 20, 30K apartment. That's if you want like an office tower or an apartment. They call it key money. What is going on here? But if you're just looking to rent a villa or something smaller, often you don't need key money. I didn't really have to deal with that when I lived in Seoul. My employer just hooked me up with a pretty good spot, and they took care of all that stuff. So that is June Rollins Park. SR says people really can't drive. Someone's been watching my TikTok. Even if I post a video that is completely indefensible, people will still come to the defense of the idiots in the video. Pizzas Canada has just banned foreigners from buying real estate property for 2 years. In theory they have, but in reality, no, they haven't. That's like saying New York State just passed right to repair legislation. They have on paper, but in reality they haven't. Foreign interests are just going to purchase properties through a family member who's already here. Whoa. All right. Or through LLCs. There's all kinds of ways to get around that toothless requirement. And when I order KFC delivered, that's where it comes from. Sweet. KFC, where I can get a whole meal delivered, tax, delivery fee, and tip for under 14 bucks. People treat Mount Pleasant like it's a damn highway. They certainly do, especially once you get south of here. I think the limit's just 50 too, which is kind of nuts. Here is Merton Street. That KFC is terrible, says Christos. I've never found anything that wrong with it. I've only ordered from there a few times. So this is Merton Street. This is going to connect me back over to Yonge. Hey, ever heard of using a turn signal? I just gave the guy a what the hell. One of these, like, what are you doing? The Beltline is just south of here. There's plans to turn this building. It looks like, according to the render, they're going to keep the existing building and just build more on top of it. Toronto Water. So there's a mix of apartments, mostly apartments on the street, some condos. There's some retail and even some office towers. And there was a apartment on this street that caught fire a week ago. That was all over the news. Sapan TTC Explorer, hello. You might remember him from the New Year's stream. I went to this Chacho's place. Oh, it is gone. That was a Mexican restaurant that me and my friends found a little underwhelming. Goodbye, Chacho's. I wonder if this building's up for redevelopment. Here's another unit up for lease. And the Red Lantern is still here. Nice little local watering hole. Oh, I think we have our answer. 35-story tower. That might be the reason why those retail lots are cleared out. Oh, these are very expensive condos. I remember looking up the prices of these units when I did a walk along here once. They are very high end. It's all good, Jason. I'm not much of a Leafs fan, to be honest. Sapan says peaceful street. Well, we're making our way back over to Yonge. And then I guess I'll head north. The Girl Guides of Canada headquarters are just on the right, I think. Oh, another redevelopment notice for this lot. "15 stories and 150 residences." So it was one of these apartment buildings coming up that was recently on fire. It's kind of odd that an office building just found its way onto the middle of Merton Street, of all places. How's the temperature? It's about 2 or 3 degrees. It's kind of nice. Here's something funny that I would have been fired for talking about in a previous life, but when I first came back to Canada from Korea, I took a job doing small commercial policies, not the big stuff I later went on to do. And I was the person who put together the policy that ensured this place, Tiny Explorers Academy. If you look up, I think you'll find it opened around 2014. That application hit my desk, and I had to pre-underwrite it. But now that brokerage is no longer in business, I'm no longer licensed, nor do I work in the industry, so what do I care? Yeah, I insured it. It was, I think, one of these apartment buildings that caught fire. Little paranormal witness girl. Happy New Year to you as well. All right, Sapan, your sister works right around the corner from here. Yeah, there's the Al Green Gallery. I'm not certain which exact apartment building. I have a good friend who used to live in this one. That condo straight ahead. And it looks like the building that houses the Girl Guides of Canada has a redevelopment proposal. What else? 39-story condo. Wonder if they're beefing up all the services to accommodate all the new residents. Looks like they're excavating pretty shortly for a new building in this lot. I'm just going to slide through here. So that's the Beltline Trail straight ahead. And just behind that is Mount Pleasant Cemetery. Oop, there's a vehicle coming up behind me. And they've got the cemetery all locked up. Lisa says, nice night for a stroll. I thought so. I was going to go out in the afternoon. I started setting everything up. And then I saw a notice that someone else was going to go live, and I kind of talked myself out of it. And I went down the rabbit hole of trying to get HDR footage to work on YouTube that I rendered from DaVinci Resolve. And I've got it working. I can get HDR to look quite fantastic, but the SDR is looking pretty crap. So until I can figure out that workflow, which I admittedly have only been working on for a few hours this afternoon, we'll have to hold off on HDR videos on the channel. There's a look south down Yonge. I don't think we can see the CN Tower tonight. It's a little too hazy off in that direction. Tripod can't believe the Red Lantern restaurant is still in Merton. It opened in 1969. Well, it looks like its days might be numbered if that new development is going to take over that building. It just says, is someone behind you? I don't see anyone. And that's a view north, so we're going to be heading north up Yonge, back up to Yonge and Eglinton. Hello.com. And QRTR has just subscribed. Thanks. I finished off 2022 with like almost 600 subscribers on the last day, so thanks everyone who did that. And 2023 is off to a very slow start. And they've got these signs up all over the city. Mount Pleasant, 1 minute in that direction. Davisville Station, 4 minutes. Midtown Yonge in 4 minutes. TTC head office, 4 minutes. St. Clair, 12 minutes. I really wish they expressed how far away they were in meters. Not everyone walks at the same pace. They have the option of a precise measurement. Why not use it? And here's a bike lane, which is fiercely contested by the NIMBYs in these areas. So we're back on Yonge. So this is Merton, where I just was. Salazar, $6.99. Here's a little bit of money for an IPA. Thank you, Salazar, for the $6.99. Funny you mentioned that. My fridge, it's 5 minutes till the LCBO closes. My fridge is pretty much out of the good stuff. He didn't say where I have to have the IPA. I can grab it at a bar. Southbound subway action there. Right, he says, or give the distance in feet, so it makes sense. That doesn't work for longer distances. That place is 900 feet away. I think meters makes a lot more sense. And once you're over 1,000, you just switch it to kilometers. This place is often rocking on the weekends. Sorry, just taking my gloves off. Oh, so in the video I recorded today, I walked by a Mr. Sub and I wondered if they were just using a really old sign, but it looks like they've updated their font and branding. That's interesting. Chris Mills prefers chain using unit of measurements. It is metric, archaic of Elcos. Ever since I moved to Korea, I've always thought of myself as being 180 centimeters instead of 5'11". And apparently, Sapan's sister works in this area. There's the TTC headquarters. So we've made it to Yonge and Davisville. And there's a cafe chain that sprung up all over the city. And then, at the snap of a finger, they just all closed down. And this store just opened. Like literally, it was barely open at all, and they just pulled the plug on the whole franchise. Looks like they were completely out of funds. They just walked away. Probably left the landlord holding the bag on that one. Chris says 10 chains is a furlong. Isn't that what they use as a measurement in horse racing? You're welcome, Pete. Christopher Haydog. I hear you. Tell people you're 180 does sound taller than saying you're 5'11". I think so, Lisa. Get off the effing sidewalk, buddy. And that used to be a place called the Wallace Gastropub, and now it's Nevizad Kitchen and Bar. A lonely e-scooter rides south down Yonge Street. He says 164 centimeters according to your license. It's funny how when you get your driver's license, they just ask you to write your height in centimeters and then completely take your word for it. In Korea, they make you stand against a wall and this block drops from the sky. And then they know how tall you are based on where it stops after it hits your head. And just in case your hair is on the puffy side, they kind of press it down a little bit when they record your final height. Oh. Who is calling me? Sorry guys, my phone is buzzing out of control. A number I do not recognize. I will reject this call. Done.
Bye.
How tall is Alvin? Isn't Alvin a cockatiel? Greetings, Lucas.
I feel like there's only like
The Chesterfield shop here is under attack. I put an 11th-story building here. And this store here features mostly condo and apartment size seating. That's not a bad looking sectional, $47.98. Can't judge it until you sit in it though. I like how everyone's talking about height now. What did I start? There's mariachis in 5 Doors North. And this place opened up early on in the pandemic. I'm glad to see it still going. It is quite good. That was one of the first restaurants I ate at when they reinstated indoor dining. I think I went there the very day it was reinstated. Chris Mills says good furniture is not cheap. That is true, but expensive furniture is not necessarily comfortable. Kitchen Stuff Plus is still open. Or I guess they're closing up. So coming up is a Staples Business Depot. Or maybe it's just called Staples. And I recently returned some items on Amazon. And apparently I can just take them to the mail counter in Staples and show them a QR code, and I don't have to package them up. Go through that whole exercise of finding an old Amazon box and taping it up, printing a delivery label and sticking it to it. Apparently I can just walk in there, give them the item, show them the QR code, and they'll take care of it. I'll be eager to try that out. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. There's Oretta. I saw Ken talking about this place on his 10K stream. And that is where I went on my birthday. It's a pretty nice place. Although they stuck me up on the second floor, which was not as nice. I don't know why I'm walking all the way over here on the side. Might as well stay. And over there is where I used to get my haircut. That's Momo, I say used to. Because I found a place that's just as good and a whole lot cheaper just north of here. I'm loyal, but I'm not that loyal. Ironically, the salon I used to go to, Salon Afif, kept jacking up their price, despite the fact that I went to a guy there who was fantastic. They just got so expensive. I couldn't stomach paying like 65 bucks for a men's haircut. And that's when I found this place, Momo. And that was only like 30 at the time. Now that place is up to like over 50. And all said and done. So the place I now go to is where Salon Afif used to be. Apparently they went under and a more affordable place opened up. So that place is called Goa. It's kind of funny how the world works sometimes. And I swear this new place is using all the decor and leftover furniture from Salon Afif. There's Farm Boy. It's all about the food, they say. And the high prices. Thank you, JR. IT, that sounds smart. Shave your head for 20 years? All it costs. What is the razor? It's some shaving gel. You could do what Kenny does. Go from like a buzz cut to full on long ass hair. JR, $4.99 super sticker. Thank you, JR, for the support. As we look up at Quantum. Thanks again, JR. Oh, that pizza smells good. Someone's carrying a whole bunch of pizza boxes. And someone else is smoking something. And they're off to the keg, which is always solid. I've not been to a buffet in years. It's a pretty popular one across the street. Lisa says it always smells better than it tastes. I don't know. When you're hungry, I think a hot pizza or even a cold one hits the spot. Thanks again, JR. Andy Wood says the keg is pricey. I don't know, if you compare it to like the independent steakhouses, it's not. And I think for a chain, it is much better quality than the typical chain restaurant. I think you can get a steak frites for like 28 bucks or something. All right, let's head over to the other side. I don't think I've ever done a buffet high, but I have done them, well, almost starved to death. ORTR says hello, this is my favorite walking channel. Thank you, that's high praise. I found one that looks really good called Tourister. It's not a narrated walking channel, but the quality of the videos is just unbelievable, especially if you have an OLED TV or a HDR capable TV. And I saw in the comments someone asked what camera he uses. I looked it up, it's a cool $5,000 just for the camera. But the quality of the videos is top notch. We're back in Stridesland. Did we ever leave? Did we ever leave? So I'm hoping to stream again tomorrow. I'm just not sure what kind of stream it'll be. Could be walking, could be riding, could be from home. Jared says I have a steady hand. I credit the gimbal for most of that. Although the gimbal I use is actually kind of wonky. Action Kid commented when he was using it that it kind of slightly tilts to the left or right a little bit. And that's something I just subconsciously kind of counterbalance. Almost like it's baked into my muscle memory. But when I'm conscious of it, I know exactly what he's talking about. If I'm not doing it, it'll kind of dip down to the left a little bit like that, or to the right. waiting for the light here. William 100 says, hi Johnny, camera quality looks great, thank you. Although I am thinking of upgrading this iPhone. Oh, way to run a red light. That wasn't even a yellow, that was just a straight up red being run there. Duppy Killa says, nighttime walks are your fave. Glad you appreciate them. Yeah, sometimes I stream out in the wild on Fridays.
I didn't know they actually have a...
I have no idea what I'll do tomorrow, but I'd like to record a few regular videos. Maybe I'll get on the bike or scooter
They do everything but...
and do that one or do one that way. This is more interesting to watch than the Leaf game tonight. Well, when I get home, I'm going to help myself to a Chapman's chocolate peppermint Christmas ice cream sandwich. And then, unfortunately, I'm going to do my laundry and do some video work. And maybe I'll pop one of my super strong edibles and put on something stupid like Impractical Jokers. But I think we have hit the end of the line for tonight. I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. Thanks to our mods for their hard work. Thanks to channel members, Patreon supporters, and everyone who liked and has subscribed, or who liked the video and has subscribed to the channel. It is really noticeable now that the amount of subscribers has slowed down to a crawl. I really appreciate it. We're on pace to get to 100,000 at some point this century. So huge, huge thanks to everyone for tuning in. It is very much appreciated. Again, I'll try to go live tomorrow. I don't know why I'm looking at my face. I should be looking at the camera when I do this, right? But I have this habit of always looking at myself in the screen. But anyways, huge thanks to everyone. I hope you have an awesome night. I'm gonna try to go live Sunday on Stumbles, but because I might be going away this weekend, that might be delayed till Monday or Tuesday. We'll have to see. And I'm gonna try to go live tomorrow. All right, thank you, everyone. Have a lovely night. And I will catch you on the next one. Yoink.